Okay, and good morning or afternoon, depending on when you're listening to this presentation. I am Mr. Newman. I am your chemistry teacher. As we talked about in class, we are doing this in a flipped classroom format, which means that you will be listening to the presentations the day before we actually do the material, and I won't be lecturing in class. Okay, so today's topic, we're talking about what actually is science. What is science all about? And is it some crazy harebrained thing that only eggheads do? Okay, so lots of people think that science is just something that people in lab coats and, with giant IQs and huge brains and no social lives do. Okay? This is not the case. Science is not just for brainiacs. It isn't something that people just know how to do. Well, in a way it is, but not the whole process of science. And most importantly, it is not something that quote-unquote other people do. You can do it too, I promise. So I figure that these pictures probably sum up a good bit of the common perception of science and scientists. People in goggles and crazy hair, lab coats, doing stuff that nobody else understands. So now that we know what science is not, let's talk about what science is. Science is a process. It is a procedure. It is something that has steps, that has definable ideas, and therefore can be learned. Science is also testable. Okay, testable, which means science is not involved in anything that you can't actually boil down to an experiment and figure out if you can or support it or disprove it. It is methodical. Good science does not happen just willy-nilly because you can't account for everything if you're not taking care of your steps. Most importantly, well, I don't know if it's most, but very importantly, it is repeatable. Repeatable, which means you can do it over and over and you can give it to other people and they can recreate your experiment. If you can't recreate the experiment, it wasn't done right. Okay, so I don't think anybody would dispute that Albert Einstein, the creator or the discoverer of the equation E equals mc squared and founder of modern physics and all the other amazing things that he did, that he was a scientist. Similarly, this is Marie Curie. She might be less well known, but she was no less important. She discovered the radioactive properties of uranium, and unfortunately, she also died of cancer due to radiation exposure. But again, we all accept that she is definitely a scientist. Now, when you get to the next slide, you might be a little surprised. Okay, so how many people are wondering, wait a minute, how is the Victory Baby a scientist? Okay, it's because infants in their everyday lives are constantly following the scientific process. Science is not some crazy thing, like I was saying. It is a process of learning, a process of understanding how your world works. And that's what infants and babies are constantly doing. Okay, so if even babies can do science, I'm sure that high school kids can do it too. But what do you have to do in order to do science? Well, it's actually really simple. First, you need to see something that's happening. It's like, wait, okay, the apple fell down. All right, cool, that's an observation. Or the chocolate bar in my lab coat melted. Okay, then you need a cognitive disconnect. It's got to not make sense in some way. Okay, there's got to be something unexpected about what you saw. Isaac Newton was wondering, wait, why does the apple fall down? Why doesn't it fall up or sideways? They didn't have a reason for that. The inventor of the microwave, he discovered the principle because he had a candy bar in his pocket and he was in front of a radar machine and it melted. And he's like, wait, it's not on me, it's not hot. Why did the candy bar melt? This doesn't make any sense. Okay? Once you have this disconnect and you're going, what the heck? Then you need to make a reasoned guess, a hypothesis. Okay, a lot of you have heard that this is an educated guess. No, it's a reasoned guess, a reasoned idea, which means that you come up with an explanation for what you saw, the disconnect, that makes sense to you based on what you know or what you can imagine. Okay, so thank you for listening to the entire presentation. Tomorrow we are going to do an activity in which we identify whether or not certain people or individuals that are described are scientists, are doing science. We will talk about how to do effective science, and we're also going to have a really fun creative problem solve, or creative problem to solve. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's me. I'm signing off. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.